There we go. Okay, so that way we can go back if anybody misses it or has to, leave and you want to see it, I'll have it recorded for you. So thank you all for being here today. I gotta say to you, I've been in the real estate business for 45 plus years, and I can't think of anything that has a bigger impact or can have a bigger impact on our industry, on us individually, than AI. I mean, there just isn't anything. I mean, I've been in this business long enough to know back to when we actually had our first computers in real estate. If any of you have been around like John Lerner and I, and maybe Sam, we used to go to what was called microfiche machines, and all the information that we needed was on these little microfiche cards that came in a little box. And you had to go in and you had to sit at the microfiche machine, put this little plastic dish in, and then move this thing around to find the information on owners and properties and all this kind of stuff. So that's how long I've been at this. So to say that AI is the most exciting thing, trust me, is not an understatement. So I'm excited to share some stuff with you guys today. So first off, I'm going to say to you, you really need to change the way that you see AI, right? Because there seems to be a lot of confusion and a lot of fear about AI. And I know every time I go into social media or check my Facebook page, there's somebody offering a new program for real estate agents on how to master AI. So what I'm going to say to you is change the way you see AI and start figuring out how I can use it, not what all the various different things are out there, right? Think about what I need and then figure out how AI is going to help you. So how am I going to help you accomplish that today? We're going to focus primarily on ChatGPT today. Why? Well, because ChatGPT is the easiest platform to you to learn to use AI. If you go back to when we first started having Google like search engines, there were lots of search engines, right? Not just Google. We had even Yahoo had a search engine, but we all learned on Google. And that was good because then we could apply the learning of how to use a search engine on any search platform, right? Kind of the same with ChatGPT. Once you learn ChatGPT, you can kind of use that on any platform. So that's why I decided to focus on that for you guys today. So let's talk about today. Today, we're going to cover. I'm sorry, I got a sore throat. So today we're going to have two parts of the program. Part one is basically going to answer this question. What can ChatGPT do for you, right? We're going to cover the discovery part of our workshop today. We're going to discover all the different things that ChatGPT can do for you. Then the second half of the program, probably even the last third, rather, probably be 2/3 on what it can do and 1/3 on how to do it. I'm going to actually show you how to prompt ChatGPT to get the things that we're going to talk about, right? How to get marketing samples, how to get searches, how to find sellers, all those kind of things. So I'm actually going to show you how to do it in the last part of the workshop today. And you want to stay to the end because in the end, I'm going to give you a guide that has the best prompts for ChatGPT for a real estate agent. So I'm going to give that to you at the very end. Okay, so let's talk about what it can do. First off, I want you to think about using ChatGPT to help you from the very beginning of, okay, why am I in real estate? What am I trying to accomplish, right? What is my SMART goal? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-sensitive goals. What are they in my life and in my business? Chat can help me establish them in a way that helps me create motivation and not frustration. And then Chat can help me create prompts and check in with me every week to see, am I on track to achieve the goals that I've established for myself? I can have Chat do quarterly reviews. I can have it do weekly reviews, monthly reviews, annual reviews, anything I want it to do relative to my goals and keeping me on track. Just imagine, if you would, for just a minute, you wake up tomorrow and you now have a personal assistant, a real estate coach and a trainer, a business planner, an accountant, a social media consultant, a graphic designer, an accountability coach, and you didn't have to pay for any of that stuff. Well, folks, that's ChatGPT. So when I say motivation and accountability, that's a huge thing that I can use ChatGPT now to help hold myself accountable to do the things that I say I want to do in order to reach the goals that I say are important to me, right? So let's talk about planning my business. I start out and I go, okay, so I want to make $200,000 as a salesperson in real estate. ChatGPT, how many sales do I need to make based on an average sales price in my market of this? It'll tell me how many closings I can put in my average of. Normally I do 50% listing, 50% sales. It'll tell me all of that. What my average commission rate needs to be, what my DFT rate is, everything. It will help me create a format that I can follow so that I have a better chance of achieving the goals that I've established for myself, right? Chat can help me write a mission statement. I hope all of you have a mission statement for your business. Here's why I'm in real estate. This defines my business and helps my customers identify with me and what I'm all about. And then here's what I really like. Okay, once I've got it figured out and chat says, okay, Bill, you have to close 36 deals to make $200,000, and your average is you should be 20 buyers and 16 listings, right? Once I have that, then I'm going to go to the next part. I'm going to have it help me develop the lead sources, evaluate my pipeline, help me create business building campaigns, audit my prospecting consistency, right? Back to my accountability. It can help me prepare monthly SOI check-ins and client nurture campaigns. All of the stuff that I need to help me establish where I'm going and then help me plan out a way to get there and then act as a partner to give me the tools that I need to implement in order to do that, right? So now I say, okay, chat, now I got these goals, but I got all these other things that I got to deal with. Chat can help me create a daily focus plan, right? So I share my goals and obstacles to chat and I say, help me create a 90-day action plan that gives me specific action steps. Build me a 9-to-5 schedule today, prioritizing my lead generation, a 2 p.m. listing appointment, and follow up with 3 buyer leads that I generated this week. And it will build me that schedule. All I have to do is follow it, right? I can have chat build me a weekly real estate schedule that reflects my current needs, including identifying my milestones, again, back to my goals and objectives, measuring my action steps, and what I need to do each day in order to achieve my goal. Folks, there is no logical reason any real estate agent is not hitting their goals and objectives in real estate right now. Okay, so what is the biggest problem that I hear from agents all the time? I don't have enough time. I have all these great ideas, but I can't implement them all. Well, as Jennifer Hayes will tell you, that is the most important key to her success in real estate. I see that she's here today, Jennifer. Hi. So, folks, we talk about this all the time. You have to be able to execute. Chat can help you prioritize your daily list of things to do, give you the correct action steps, and then even help you delegate. So I got A, B, C, D on my priority list of things to do today. Chat can help me delegate some of those D items in other ways to get them done. So I'll say, chat, I'm looking at my list of things to do today that we have prioritized, and I see 4 things that are on my list that I just can't fit into my schedule. How else can I get them done? And chat will give me recommendations for how I can get those things done and moved off my list, right? So folks, again, there is nothing that ChatGPT cannot help you do. Every single day you should be asking yourself, what do I have to do and how can ChatGPT help me do it? Now, what is coaching really? The biggest part of what I do, and all of you guys that are here, bless you, thank you, B and Jennifer and everybody that I work with. A big part of what I do is I hold you guys accountable, right? We talk about the things we need to do, and then I kind of prod and push and follow up to make sure that kind of stuff is done. That's a very important part of growth in our industry. It's crucial, right? Well, now you don't need me, I'm sorry to say. ChatGPT is not as good as me but it can be your weekly, daily, monthly accountability partner, right? All you need to do is set it up to do that. So I can set up my ChatGPT and I say, okay, chat, based on the goal, based on the objectives I've given you, give me 3 goals this week to focus on, and then let's prioritize our business objectives based on that. I can have chat, I say, chat, I want you to check in with me once a week and ask me if I have made my 5 calls a day, my 5 follow-up notes, and my 5 letters. And then I can set up chat to help me celebrate wins and adjustment, right? It can be my celebration partner for me and say, hey, Bill, good job, congratulations. Now, one of my favorite things, and this is one of the things I'm actually going to show you today. I'm sitting here today in my real estate business and I'm going, I really need some business. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to say, chat, I need business. I want you to help me find listing leads. Chat can help me identify the high probability sellers in my marketplace, right? And it can analyze lots of different things, equity in properties, demographics, all kinds of things that it can do to help me target leads. And I'm going to show you specifically an example of how to find out which neighborhoods are going to be the hottest neighborhoods for sellers in the next 6 months. I'm going to give you that before we go today in my demonstration, right? But this is one of the things you need to think about. Again, you can't be saying, gee, my business is slow, there's nothing going on, and not be reacting in a way that helps you correct that. Because if that is your observation, then observation is probably true for you. So don't just sit there and wallow in it. Do something about it. Have ChatGPT help you target potential leads that you can prospect in order to build some inventory and develop some business, right? I'm going to show you how to do that for lots of different things. One of the things that I also really like is, I go back into my library and I have books, literally, of dialogues, right? I have books of letters, emails for all of the things, anniversaries, congratulations, how long I've worked with you, all of that kind of stuff. Now, I don't need all those books. I don't need a library because I have ChatGPT can help me develop any kind of contact messaging that I want for any example that I can come up with, right? And not only that, but it can target those messages based on lots of things: age, demographic, location, personal traits, things going on in the world. I mean, folks, it allows me to really communicate effectively by developing personalized outreach, right? I just feed it in. I tell it, here are the circumstances. And one of the things I talked about just 30 seconds ago was finding the neighborhoods that are going to be the most likely to have high motivated sellers in the coming 6 months. Well, now I can have chat help me develop the messages that I'm going to use to go after those potential sellers, right? So not only is it going to help me figure out where they are and who they are, but it's going to help me target the message just for those neighborhoods. The other thing I talk a lot about is postcards, right? I'm a fan of postcards because people don't have to open an envelope, right? They get my message no matter what. There are a lot of things that I can do with postcards. If you look at, one of my top producers, Craig Duran, his entire program really is based around postcards, right? And it's very effective. The problem of it is either I have to have a graphic designer or I got to go to Fiverr or somewhere in order to develop those postcards in order for them to be effective for a particular neighborhood. I don't want to just send a generic that the same as everybody else's, I want something specific for the neighborhood. Well, up until now, I had to pay somebody to do that. Now I don't have to do that anymore, right? ChatGPT will do that for me. It will tailor a postcard specifically for those people in that neighborhood. And I can do it based on the trends that are happening today. Interest rates are going down, interest rates are going up. Market is soft, market is not soft. Market is fast, market is slow. Whatever the message is, I can have it created and developed and delivered in hours, not weeks and months, right? And folks, again, this allows me to more effectively connect with my audience. This is one of the things I'm trying to impress upon you. Yeah, anybody can send postcards. Sure, I can go. I belong to a brand, ABC Realty, any one of the franchises, and they all have postcards. All I got to do is just grab one and I can send it. So why do I need ChatGPT? Because this allows you to personalize it for you, right? Not something off the shelf. Allows me the capabilities of having graphic design without having to pay a graphic designer. So rather it's farming letters or postcards, I can do all that specifically for a particular neighborhood. Now, I'm going to assume everybody here has a blog, a newsletter, and does some type of mailers. Well, again, when I'm trying to come up with content, right? So I have a blog. I have a blog that posts every day. I have a daily email that I write every day, right? I have mailers that, and so to be quite honest with you, I don't have the time or the brain power to create all that stuff, to get all that stuff created on time in a high caliber and have it have value all the time. So chat fills in for that, right? It produces well-written marketing content tailored for my specific blog, right? It knows me, so it writes the content specifically for my blog in my tone, right? In my flavor. And so that helps to make the stuff effective because, again, it's not just cut and paste. It's actually custom content created specifically for me and my target. So again, on to the same thing I can do if I'm working my SOI or I'm working neighborhoods or anything else that I'm trying to do that I have to create marketing content for. This allows me to be able to do it instantly and at a high caliber. Now, we've always talked about when we're prospecting, one of the things that we need to be able to do is we need to be able to offer value, right? So we've always had these, what my buddy Floyd Blickman used to call give the gets, right? Items that I can offer somebody that has value. So I'm working an expired listing. One of the things I can offer an expired listing is a guide on how to get your property sold in, today's market, 101 things an expired owner needs to know to get their property sold, right? I don't have to go online and buy that from somebody and then put my name on it. I'm just going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to have ChatGPT create a custom expired listing guide, and I'm going to have it create for this particular property with their particular property photo on the front, right? Is that going to set me out working expireds from all the other agents? You bet it is. And again, I have the ability to do that by using chat and can create it for me instantly, and I can have it and go out with it this afternoon, right? So same thing, FSBO guides, expired guides, buyer guides, right? What are the things you need to know as a buyer in today's market, right? An investment guide, anything that you can think of that could help somebody that you're going to target, that you want to create something valuable that you can offer them. This would allow you to be able to do it and do it effectively, right? And it's high quality stuff. Again, that's what I love about it. All right, so what else? My favorite. You all know that I built my real estate business on for sale by owners and expireds, right? I've converted actually over 500 for sale by owners into transactions. So I would have loved to have the ability to be able to have ChatGPT to work with me to help create letters, emails, and scripts that I can use working with the expired, with the FSBO and the expired. Now, one of the things I'm going to show you today, and it's really going to wow you guys that a lot of people do not know about. I did not know about it until I started doing research for these programs that I'm doing for NAR. And then I discovered that ChatGPT allows two-way communication. What does that mean? Well, I used to know that I could write a prompt and it would give me, or I could speak to it and it would take that and then write me back an answer. What I didn't know is ChatGPT has two-way communication, which means I can talk to it, it can listen to me, and then respond. Well, why am I bringing that up right now? Well, I have a FSBO appointment this afternoon, and I want to practice what I'm going to say to that FSBO. So I go to ChatGPT, I say, ChatGPT, and my ChatGPT is named Stan. I gave him a name. I'm going to demonstrate it in a little bit. But mine is named Stan. I say, Stan, I'm going to go on an appointment with a for sale by owner this afternoon, and I want to practice what I'm going to say to him. So I would like you to assume the role of the for sale by owner, and I'm going to be the real estate agent, and I'm gonna come and knock on the door, and I'm gonna role play this with you. I want you to act as if you're a for sale by owner and be a little tough, but not too tough, okay? And Stan will say, okay, Bill, I'm ready. And then we'll start and we'll role play, and he'll act like the for sale by owner, and he'll say certain things like, I don't want to pay a commission. I'm not interested in listing. All the things that a for sale by owner would say. And by the way, if I want specific objections, I can feed them in and say, here, handle this. Give me this specific objection. Now, if I'm not sure of what I'm going to say, I can ask. I can say, okay, chat. So I'm going to be the FISBO, you be the agent, and let's practice it, right? So I can turn it around and have chat give me the script if I don't already know what I'm going to say. But I love this. I've been practicing all kinds of things with the two-way communication. Blows my mind. I would have been such a better agent, right? Now, one of the things everybody is doing is I'm assuming that you follow up with people and you use email in order to do that. One of the things that chat does really, really well is automate your personal email follow-up. So I met a buyer this past Sunday at an open house, and I want to develop a follow-up sequence with this buyer that is interesting, informative, conversational, and not too pushy, but helps them move through the process to ultimately be encouraged to buy, right? So give me a series of 7 emails for that purpose, and it will create for me a nice email strand that I will use, every 3 days or however often I'm going to do it for the people that I met at the open house that are potential buyers so that I can move them along through the process, right? So any multi-step email, again, I don't care who it is, sellers, same thing with sellers. Hey, congratulations, your property's now under contract. Now here are 7 steps that I'm going to give them of things that they need to know as we move through the process. Any kind of follow-up that you need to do. And folks, let's face it, we tend to not be too good at follow-up. So again, I'm going to say to you, this is another one of these things that removes all the excuses. There's no excuse for me not to be good at following up, right? Now, I have on my website a chat bot. I'm assuming most of you do. If you don't, I'm going to give you a little side note. It's called ChatBase, ChatBase. That will help you create a chat bot easily for your website, right? Without having to know how to code. It's already a program set up. It will go to your website. It'll crawl your website for information. It will help you create a chat bot. I found that I needed some scripts to answer specific questions on my website, right? Okay, so I assume because I have coaching and things like that, people are going to go to my website and they're going to ask me questions about coaching. So I sat down with ChatGPT and I had it write the scripts that I wanted to feed in. So when somebody goes to the website, I want you to give me a series of questions and answers for them for my chat bot for my website. And it gave me all that. So then I built it on ChatBase, and now I have so if you go to that, it says, do you offer coaching? Yes, we offer many different types of programs. Here's your programs. What is the cost? Well, the cost varies, but all that stuff was chatbot scripted that came from ChatGPT that helped me build that through ChatBase. So once again, another tool need to be using, right? Market updates. People ask me this question all the time. You need to stay in touch, need to stay in touch, need to stay in touch. They hear that message and they ask me, what is the difference between bothering people and providing value? Well, that's the answer, right? If you're bothering me, you're not providing me any value. The thing I like about ChatGPT is it allows me to take information that's going on in the market, even complex market data. Here's all the stuff from the different reports and everything, and allows me to put that into an easy to understand video or a newsletter or a script that I can then use to create my own video, right? Or let's say there's an interest rate change and I wanted to send an email that explains to my SOI and my customer base what exactly the interest rate change means to them. And so this allows me to be able to do that effectively and making my client communication again with my existing client, my SOI base, right, who is the most important. And folks, providing value is how we build trust and keep our customers our customers. I don't want my customers getting their information from Zillow. I want them getting their information from me. Well, how are they going to get it from me if I never send it to them? Well, I don't know how to send it to them. That's just too much work. Well, now again, there's no excuse for you not to, right? Because everything can be fed into chat and pushed out in a way that makes it easy for you to deliver it. MLS data. Every month we see the MLS data in our marketplace. A lot of us take that data and we're pushing it out to our customers. Why? Because they want to know it's localized. They like that. It's a good idea. But sometimes the way it's pushed out is the same way that it comes from the MLS. It's just data, okay? And it doesn't convert it into something that's concise and easy for the client to understand what it means to them. ChatGPT helps you take data and kind of summarize it and make it so it's more user-friendly for the customer, right? The other thing that I like is they give me the information in a way that allows me to kind of compare it to make sure it's accurate, which would be a good moment for me to tell you everything you do with ChatGPT, check. Because just because it spits it out does not mean it's always right, because it's not always right. There are things that I've done that were clearly not correct that I had to come back, including some marketing things I did. There are words that I'll catch are not spelled correctly or in the wrong order. There are all kinds of things so you can't just put ChatGPT on a project and then automatically assume everything is going to be perfect, because it's not. You need to check all the work that you do. Drip campaigns. If you're a prospector again, you can create all sorts of, there are a lot of agents that rely strictly on text messaging as their prospecting methodology. That's great. You can create effective drip campaigns using text as you can with emails, as you can with letters. But the stuff needs to be good. Okay, I say to you, if you're working expireds, one letter is not enough, right? You need one letter every 3 days. Every 3 days for 60 days, and then once a week for the next 60 days, and then once a month from then on. Well, how are you going to create that drip campaign? You're going to sit there and write each one of those letters? Oh my God, I don't know what to say. No, I'm going to create that drip campaign through ChatGPT. I've got expireds. I want to send a letter to them every 3 days. I need you to write a letter sequence, a drip campaign that I can use every 3 days for expireds and explain to them. And then eventually I want to ask them for an opportunity for a meeting, right? Okay. Helping you. Again, I say to you, oh my gosh, I wish I would have had all these things when I was a real estate agent. I'm going out on a listing appointment, and now I've got something to actually help me improve my listing presentation. Okay, so go back to what I said to you a minute ago. I can go to ChatGPT. As a matter of fact, I did. I did a listing presentation for ChatGPT, and it really helped me because I had to think about, and it had questions. It asked me specific questions. It said, Bill, explain to me your marketing campaign to get my property sold. And then there was something in my listing presentation I talked about called the Hot 100 list. And it asked me, Bill, can you explain to me further the Hot 100 list? I didn't quite understand that. I mean, it was just like being on an appointment with a seller. Could I not develop better skills by having someone practice with me? And then at the end, I asked it, I said, so Stan, give me feedback on how my listing presentation was, how you felt as a seller, and areas that I can improve. And it did. It said, Bill, you were very professional. You knew what you were talking about. It was very concise. But I would suggest that you put in some examples. It gave me an example of a Phil felt found, right? Give an example of somebody else that you've helped and what they found by working with you, right? It was good feedback, because we all know that's a good thing to do. Give a testimonial into your presentation. So this, folks, it will also, by the way, create visual aids for that seller, right? So I'm going on a luxury appointment tonight with a seller of a multi-million-dollar property. These are the things that I'm going to talk about. Can you help me create some visual aids that I can use and demonstrate with this seller? See, I don't have to go to the company's drag and brag stuff. I'm going to create my own for this specific seller. So it's going to make me a much stronger listing agent, because I'm going to enhance my presentation for each seller. Now, here's a little side note. Before I go on my listing presentation now, I'm going to ChatGPT and I'm going, ChatGPT, I want you to go search LinkedIn, Instagram, and other social media to learn about John and Mary Smith, who I have a listing appointment with tonight. And I want you to find 4 things that will help me create rapport with this prospect. And then I say, Chat, also provide insight into any questions and concerns these prospects might have expressed anywhere out there. Right? So if they were unhappy with a previous seller or they've posted their frustration with trying to sell before or anything, right? All that stuff will come back to me and help me be more prepared. Imagine knowing 4 things already. So they're Baltimore Ravens football fans, right? They love crab cakes. They're going to give me some things that I'm going to be able to use. This is stuff that I was taught. I have to walk around with the seller, right? And I have to ask them questions and I have to find things to bond with them. ChatGPT is going to help me skip off to the front of the line. It's going to tell me the things I'm going to use to automatically build rapport with my seller. Now, I'm not looking to go out of business anytime soon, okay? As your personal coach, all of you guys that are still here. But I will say to you, ChatGPT is pretty effective as a role of a personal coach. As a matter of fact, what you can do is you can tell ChatGPT, I am developing my own ChatGPT app that'll be ready in 2 weeks. So you'll be able to go to ChatGPT and there will be the manager one is called the Recruitinator. I don't know what the agent one's going to be called yet, but you'll be able to go ask ChatGPT. You'll be able to go in there and it'll say, okay, I got this appointment with a FISBO. And when you click on give me a script, those scripts that come up will be my scripts, right? So there will come a point where Bill Fields' personal coaching will be available through ChatGPT. But in the meantime, don't need that. Just go in there and you can have it work with you, like I said, on the scripting. You can ask it for advice on how to do things. You can have it tell you, you know what, Chat, I have nothing on my schedule today. I'm depressed. What should I be doing in order to build my real estate business today? Give me 10 things that I can do, right? It'll give me things to do today. It will act as my personal coach. Help me get motivated. Well, Bill, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then it'll tell you, sit down and reevaluate your goals. It will do things to help you motivate yourself. What I like about it too is I think a lot of people don't like to role play with me. It's an uncomfortable thing, like to go into the office and get one of your fellow agents to sit down and go, hey, would you role play with me? I got this FISBO. I'm going to go. Nobody likes to do that. So we don't ultimately get much practice. So the only practice we get is when we're doing it in front of the prospect. Folks, that's not the right time to practice, right? So this allows you to do it and really refine your skills and do it in a safe environment because it's only you and your ChatGPT, and they're not going to tell anybody on you, I promise, right? By the way, anytime you do that role play, always ask for the feedback. Now, this is another thing I get. Bill, I'm struggling with my social media. Who should I hire to help me do my social media? Who should you hire? Have you lost your freaking mind? Why would you hire somebody? I mean, are you making so much money you just want to throw it out? Throw some my way. Folks, you don't need to hire somebody to do your social media, okay? ChatGPT will do it for you and do it more effectively probably than somebody that you can hire to do it for you. Because it allows me to set it for my specific audience. And it allows me to develop in a tone that comes from me. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you how we're going to do that, right? But again, social media, you don't need somebody to do this for you, okay? ChatGPT will do your social media for you. Your listing descriptions, this is the one thing I'm assuming I don't even have to touch on because you guys are already doing this. This is the one thing if I ask most agents, what are you doing? I'm using it to help me write my descriptions on my listing. Yeah, everybody's doing that. So you need to move past that, right? You need to find more things than just this. And by the way, when you're writing your listing descriptions, what you should do first, to be honest with you, is this. Have ChatGPT help you run some ideas of who your most likely buyer is going to be, then go back. Whoops. And then go back and help you create the description that's going to appeal to that buyer that is the most likely buyer of that property, right? So again, I'm using ChatGPT, write my descriptions, but more importantly, I'm asking them, look, identify the ideal target buyer demographics for this property, right? Look, I can have it review the pricing. I can feed in the information. And by the way, sometimes I have to feed it in information. So I have to grab it from the MLS and I feed it into chat and then I ask it to do things, right? Because it can only do it if it can access the information. If it can't access the information, then it can't help me, right? But all of this stuff, so I take a listing, I say, okay, now I got the listing. Give me a pre-listing, a launch, and a post-listing timeline. Create a checklist of marketing tasks for this listing by the day, by the week, by the month. Recommend both offline and online marketing channels for this listing, right? Then I can go on and I can tell it, okay, help me prep, create a checklist because I'm going to do a video of this property and I want to provide the seller with a checklist of things that we need to do, right? Decluttering, staging, all those kind of things. Chat will do that, create that list that I can provide the seller, right? I can ask ChatGPT, okay, ChatGPT, here's the layout of this property. Give me a shot list of both interior and exterior features that we want to focus on that are most interesting to buyers in today's market. And it'll give me the shot list to make sure when we're developing the video or the photos, those are included, right? Just in case I need that help. Now, the other thing you should be using it for is writing your script stuff because, folks, I'm telling you, some of the scripts of things that we're saying when we're doing these videos, it's just horrible. I mean, it's just, we really do. We need some help. So client communication, I already kind of talked on that. Make that easy for you. Buyer and seller guides. Oh, why is that here? Because I already talked about that. Content ideas we talked about. I'm trying to get to the end because I want to get to the stuff I want to show you. Folks, one of the big things that's going on right now, and again, this is something I see people selling to real estate agents, how to do webinars and build your business. Folks, you don't need to pay somebody. You already know what a webinar is. So I want to have a first-time homebuyer webinar. I get ChatGPT to help me develop that. Develop a script for what I'm going to say, develop the marketing, develop a handout, everything that I need to do my first-time homebuyer seminar, Chat's going to help me do. So I don't care if it's first-time homebuyers, I'm going to do an investor event, I'm going to do sellers, I'm going to do whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Folks, again, this is a big deal right now. Don't pay somebody else to help you. I mean, to do it for you. Scripts, you don't have to go to Bill Field's library to get all the scripts, as I said. What I like about it is all of the scripts, they communicate effectively in my voice and my tone, right? Now, if you got a team, one of the things that chat will help you do is create accountability scripts and check-ins for the team members that you've got, right? So I got 3 people on my team. I want to set up an accountability and follow-up. Help me do that. Help me create the script so when I follow up with one of my team members, it sounds nice and doesn't sound like I'm, what have you done this week? You haven't done anything, right? So it helps me develop effective. So folks, as I said to you in the start, think of a world in which every possible thing that you could need to have done, I can have somebody help me do it effectively, easily, and quickly. That's the other thing, quickly. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do all this stuff. Now, before I do, I want to tell you a couple things that you need to make sure you add. So people ask me all the time, what version of chat am I using? I'm using ChatGPT 5. Okay, it's a paid version. It's the same version as 4.0. I just have the newest version, right? I was able to get 5, so I have 5. But I have added some extensions that I've added to that in order to make it effective. So the first thing I have is called Web ChatGPT. That's an extension through Chrome. All right, so if you're using Google Chrome, you go to Google Chrome, up on the top right-hand side, and there's 3 little dots. You click on that, and it's going to drop down a menu. 3/4 of the way down, you're going to see the word extension. Click on that, and that's going to open a little thing, and you're going to see, extension, find extensions, and then you're going to put in Web ChatGPT, and it's going to bring it up, and you go, yeah, that's the one I want. You click on it, and it's going to add it to your ChatGPT. And what that does is it allows you to search the internet, right? That allows ChatGPT to be able to communicate and do searches and find things on the web. So it's called Web ChatGPT. The next one is called YouTube Summary with ChatGPT and Claude. You might just want to take a picture of this slide. Okay, and this is good because one of the things that we do when we're building information and we're going to send to clients, some of that information is like NAR puts out a video on what's going on in the market. I capture that video. I use YouTube Summary. YouTube Summary gives me the entire transcription of that video. I then plug that into ChatGPT, and I have ChatGPT break that down into messages for my clients or into a video script or whatever I wanted to do, right? The next thing is voice control for ChatGPT, because if you don't have two-way communication, which I'm going to show you in 2 seconds, one of the things you want to be able to do is just talk to chat and just talk to it, right? So chat, please do this, and then it'll do that, right? It's not going to communicate back with you this way. This is to just give you voice commands. Now, the last thing there is a misspell, obviously. It's supposed to say social media content generator for Canva. A lot of real estate agents use Canva, so there is a plugin that makes it real simple for ChatGPT to create stuff, and then for you to just flow it right into Canva and have the designs developed and created for you. So that's an extension to allow you to be able to do that, okay? Okay, so now let's look at AI in action. Let's just see a couple of things that AI can do for us. Let's start with two-way communication with ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do is bring up my, whoops. I'm going to bring up my chat on that. I want it on this screen so you guys can see it. Right now you're just seeing the word Zoom, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here so that you guys can actually see this. So this is my ChatGPT. And I'm going to use my voice mode. So now it's waking up.
Absolutely. We can pick this right up whenever you're ready.
Great.
Just let me know when you want to dive back into it, and we'll continue from where we left off.
Stan, I would like to do a role play.
Absolutely. Let's do it. We can jump into a role play scenario anytime. Just let me know what kind of situation you have in mind, like a recruiting conversation or a coaching scenario, and we'll get rolling.
I would like to role play a meeting I'm going to have with a first-time home buyer, and the first-time home buyer is telling me that they would like to wait until spring to buy instead of moving forward on the property that we found for them that they're excited about. So I want to role play. I'll be the agent and you be the buyer who's thinking about waiting until spring to buy, okay? And I want to give you the reasons why waiting might not be a good idea.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Step into the shoes of your first-time home buyer who's on the fence about waiting until spring. You can be the agent. Let's jump in whenever you're ready.
Okay, so great. So Stan, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this property and my concerns about what you said to me last night, that you folks are thinking about waiting until spring instead of going forward and owning this property right now. So I have a question for you. If I could show you how waiting is actually could be to disadvantage to you instead of going forward now, do you think you folks might reconsider and go forward and own this property now instead of waiting to spring to shop?
Absolutely. I appreciate you walking me through that. So from my perspective as the buyer, we were just thinking about waiting because we thought maybe there would be more inventory in the spring or maybe prices might come down. But if you've got some reasons why it might not be a good idea to wait, I'm definitely open to hearing them. So let's talk it through.
Okay, so my first thing is one of the things you said is true. Okay, in the spring, there may be more properties available for you. But unfortunately, there will also be more buyers that you will be competing against. So what ends up happening is more buyer activity surges. And so what ends up happening is that you'll be negotiating with sellers now, and then you'll be fighting with buyers later. So right now, you're in a better negotiating power position because there are fewer buyers for you to compete against. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is basically, my concern is if you wait until spring and then you go out into the marketplace, you're competing with a lot more buyers. So you have less power with the seller than you do today. Because today, this property that you're looking at, to the best of my knowledge, you are the only buyer interested in it. Come springtime, when all the other buyers are out there, you're going to be competing with those buyers, first off, to find a property and then outbid them in order to own it. So that concerns me a little bit about putting you guys in a disadvantage waiting to spring. The other thing is that we've discovered that people that are on the market now through the end of the year, because we have the holidays coming up, these tend to be our motivated sellers. These people are on the market now because they want to sell. They're not testing the market. So you have a better chance of negotiating a better price, better terms, and possibly even in conditions and things that may come up. So those are two reasons I think that I would like for you folks to consider. The other thing that worries me a little bit, Stan, is you guys are financing this property. And even though interest rates right now are appealing, and you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe they're going to go down in the springtime. Maybe they are, but maybe they're not, right? So what if they don't go down? What if they go up? Because even if they go up a half a point, that could add hundreds of dollars a month to your payment and thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. So with those things in mind, I would just say, do you think maybe you might consider going forward and owning this property today instead of thinking about, well, in the spring, we'll put it off. In the spring, we'll start shopping again?
Absolutely. I hear what you're saying, and that does make a lot of sense. I can see how waiting until spring could be more competition and possibly higher rates, and that might not actually work in our favor. So I appreciate you explaining that. It definitely gives us something to think about, and I think we'll seriously consider moving forward now rather than waiting. Thanks for laying that out for us.
Great. Okay, so Stan, let's stop the role play and give me some feedback of how you thought the role play went. What are some things I could do better next time?
Absolutely. Let's break it down. I think you did a great job highlighting those key reasons for acting now, like the competitive edge buyers have in a less crowded market and the potential interest rate uncertainties. Those are definitely compelling points. As for things you could do even better next time, maybe consider weaving in a personal story or an example of a past client who faced a similar choice and benefited from acting sooner. That can sometimes help it feel even more relatable and real. Overall, though, you handled it really well and you kept it conversational and clear.
Great, good. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. So again, you guys, you see my point. That's pretty fascinating stuff for me to be able to do that, right? So now I want to go and I want to show you some other things. I'm going to show you what to do and how to do it. So let me get back into my, whoops. This is what happens when I move away. So let's go back to share. Okay, thank you. Now let's bring it back, please. Okay, are you guys seeing the slides now? Are you guys still there?
Yes, we're seeing them.
Okay, good. Okay, so now let's move through some things that we can be doing. So we talked about identifying high probability sellers. So this is the prompt that I ran today, and I have a report I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm a real estate agent in Bamford, Connecticut. I need to find motivated sellers. Give me a report on what are the best neighborhoods to farm for motivated sellers in the next 6 months in zip code 06405, which is Bamford, Connecticut. What additional data would you need for me to complete this task? And it gave me an entire report of what neighborhoods, why, the average sales price, the demographics of the people. And then it said, if you want additional information, and it told me what it needed in order to get additional information to really break it down street by street, right? So that's the prompt for that if you want to make a copy of that. All right, so now let's talk about social media. So all of you guys right now, a lot of the stuff that I see on social media, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not for generating business. You got to start using your social media platform to generate business. So here I've got this. I want to create a social media post to capture some buyers. So I say, ChatGPT, I'd like to create a social media post for home buyers. Use this image and add text, home buyers looking for the best buy, get my complimentary list of the 10 best buys in the market. Boom. And that's what I get that fast, right? And if I don't like this, I can change it. I don't like the colors. I want my logo on it. I want my name on whatever I want. I can make those changes and get it the way I want just that fast. Okay? So here was another one. Create a social media post for this image that's for sale. Elegance meets opportunity. Call me today. And in about that fast. Now, I'm not doing it now because, you know, it generally takes a minute to 3 minutes for it to generate because of the image. So I didn't want you guys to have to sit there and wait. So I created them before the program so you would see what it looked like. But again, folks, this is how easy it is. So I don't want to hear any more crap about, I need to hire somebody to do my social media. Next, you're going to be telling me, I need to hire somebody to do my ChatGPT. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Now let's talk about marketing. Okay. So I want to market. I got this new listing and I want to send out, I just sold it, and I want to send out a just sold in a neighborhood where I sold it. So, and I don't want to wait to go to the company stuff and get their pieces. And then, you know, and I don't want to go to, you know, Fiverr and pay somebody to do it. I want to do it myself. So I tell Chat, take this image and create a 5x7 postcard layout with the words just sold in large capital letters across the top of the photo and put a background color behind the letters. Pretty simple, right? Boom. Now I got a just sold postcard. I can upload and get the postcards out, and I'll have them in a matter of days. So social media, marketing, you know, seller probability, seller analysis, all that kind of stuff instantly and easily. Now, I know a lot of you have already moved into the staging, so I want to talk a little bit about staging, right? So let's talk about staging. Again, whoops. Come back, wherever you are. Thank you. Again, it's about my prompt, right? Take these images of this vacant loft space and create virtual staging of the spaces using modern furniture, green plants, and lighting. Now, I will tell you, one of the things I learned is sometimes I need to give the dimensions of the room in order to get the furnishings the right size and placed in the right places. Because sometimes I'll get weird furniture cranked out when it's doing the staging, right? This time it came out pretty good. So that's what it looked like, my virtual staging with that prompt. Big difference, right? Big difference, nice difference, good stuff, very modern, and it took me minutes and not hours, right? Now, Jennifer and Bettina, you guys are already past this, so you can skip this part, but don't leave, stick around. But for those of you guys that do not or have not done this yet, there is a really good tool. It's called the ChatGPT Bio Optimizer, and I think I showed it to John Lerner and you guys there too. So a lot of you guys have seen this. This is a really important tool. I'm going to put it in the chat box in just a minute, and I'll send it to you guys so that you have it. You just click on it. And what it will do is it will help you take your bios that you've got in all the different places, your website, LinkedIn, social media, all those different places. It will help you create a more effective bio that will help you get found by people searching on the AI platforms, right? So you have to understand that this is an important tool for us to be using now, because it used to be we were worried about Google search, right? And it's a good thing. We should still be worried about Google search. But now let's be realistic. A lot of people like me, and like a lot of you, and like a lot of people I know, they spend their entire day now on ChatGPT open on their screen. So when they go to search something, they're going to ChatGPT and they're going, ChatGPT, tell me who the 5 top real estate agents are in my marketplace, right? Well, folks, you need to set up your bio correctly in order to be able to position yourself for Chat to be able to find you to do that. And this bio optimizer was created by a real estate agent. Matter of fact, Bettina was kind enough to share it with me. That's where I got it from. So it was created by a real estate agent. It's a really effective tool. So when you're done here today, take that and work on your bio optimizer. The other thing that you should do is you should go and you should, whoops. Didn't mean to do that, sorry. you should go and you should check your version of ChatGPT. Now, if you go to your version of ChatGPT and you do not have the ability to do two-way communication, you can just ask your ChatGPT, do I have two-way communication with you? Not everybody, this is the odd thing about ChatGPT. It depends a lot on where you are and which particular version and how that server is, wherever it's coming from, helps to determine which functionality you have. Now, strangely enough, there is a great easy workaround because my version of ChatGPT did not have two-way communication. It wasn't available yet in my marketplace. But the app is available. So all I did was I downloaded the app to my desktop, and now what you're seeing is the ChatGPT app. And the ChatGPT app has two-way communication. So if you go to ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT, do I have two-way communication, and it says no, then download the app and start using the app, and you'll have two-way communication. Okay, great. Now, anybody have any questions about any of this stuff that I went over?
Yes, Bill. To download, to get the Chat GPT 5, do we also have to get the Genius and the
No.
the other one?
No, you need the paid version, the $20 version, but you don't need anything else. You don't need a pro version.
What about the AI chatbot? Do we have to download that too? I'm only looking at my apps on the phone.
I don't know what that is, AI chatbot.
You mentioned that before.
Chat base is what I said, chat base.
Oh, not BOT?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
If you follow up with me, Grace, when we're done here today, I'll look at it with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Tell me what it is that you're looking at on your phone.
It's
Look, I don't want you to download the app on your phone. I want you to download it on your computer.
I couldn't with you on. I will on my computer.
Okay, yeah.
Just looking
Yeah,
at
because
my phone.
you can put it on your phone, but it's just so much easier to use on your desktop.
Yeah, it says AI chatbot AI chatsmith 5.0.
Yeah, but is that ChatGPT? That's not what I want. Is for you to have I just need you to have the ChatGPT app. That's all I need.
Okay,
That's all you need to worry about. I think the other thing is something else.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so hold on, guys. I got one more thing for you here. I got to find it. So I don't need to be right. Let me skip out of there. Hold on. So here I want to put these things in a. So there are two things I'm going to put in the chat box for you guys, which is, so you go there and you'll find them on your screen. Hold on. Come on. Come on, stop that. It's being not friendly. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if you look right now, folks, there are two things there that you can click on. The top one is the book that's called the AI Prompts for the Modern Real Estate Agent. Download that. It's a PDF of about, I think, 25 different prompts that you can use to help you in your real estate business every day. And then the second thing is the ChatGPT Optimizer, your bio optimizer. So if you click on that, it will automatically open up for you in ChatGPT to show you the optimizer and will help you walk through your bio. Now, there was one other thing here I wanted to show you guys just quickly before you go. I wanted to show you the report that it gave me on the, no, that's not it. Hold on. Where's the report? Here it is. Where did you guys go? Okay, I got to do a share screen real fast and you'll get to see Grace's beautiful face for a minute. And instead, what I want to bring up is this. Okay, so I asked it for, and this is the report it gave me when I said, tell me where I should farm because I need listing. This is what it gave me. It said, here's a market view for that zip code. It's a, oh, you can't see it?
Look up picture.
What are you guys seeing?
Best neighborhood to farm.
Yeah, I can see it. It says
I
best
see.
neighborhoods in farm.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like a letter.
yeah, that's what you should be seeing, right? It looks like a letter. So it just, but it's a report. This is a highly competitive market. It gives a score. Medium sales prices rising 8.8% year over year. Average home price is this. And then it goes down and says, what makes a neighborhood high potential for listings? And it says high owner equity, older population, higher turnover rate, buyer demand with low, right? All the things that we know. And then it tells me, here are the neighborhoods you should focus on and why. And then it gives me a little strategy, right? And then at the end of the report, I said, here's additional information that you need. So if you give me owner equity and mortgage data, yeah, if I had that, I could do that myself. Age demographics, sale turnover history by blah. That's I get from the MLS. All of this stuff, I just upload the MLS stuff. Most of your MLSs have the ability to export. So basically, you ought to be able to export an entire, report on that area and then feed that to chat and then let chat do the work. So learn how to, excuse me, learn how to import and learn how to export stuff from your MLS and learn how to import it into your ChatGPT, because that's a very valuable tool to know how to do. Okay. Excuse me, water went down the wrong pipe. All right, other questions? Where did Sam go? We lost Sammy?
Yeah, Sam is not here today. He have an emergency family thing.
Is he okay?
We believe he will be.
Right.
His brother.
Something bad with his brother?
Yeah, his brother. I think there was a collusion or something.
Poor man. He's had a lot of, this brother has a hard life. So,
Yeah. Bill, I have a question.
sure.
How do we generate? I mean, how do we use the ChatGPT to compose leads that we get from a premier programs like Zillow or Realtor.com or any of those things, whereby they give us referrals, and then we can, like creating like a text or something that will be something to remind those people to be engaged. How do we do that?
Okay, so you go to ChatGPT and you give it instructions. You say, I have leads I'm getting from the internet, and I want to develop a correspondence with them to build a relationship. And I would like to develop 10 email messages that I can send to these people over the next 2 weeks. Would you give me those messages starting with the first one? How often should I send them? Right? And then just have chat do it for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a really good question.
Mhm.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, sometimes you know how I figured out? I ask chat. I say, chat, what do I ask you in order to get this? And it'll tell me how to ask him, right? I never thought of that.
Make it easy.
Yeah, I mean, right. Again, that's why it's artificial intelligence. It's smarter than I am, that's for sure. So I just say, chat, I want you to write this book. Give me the prompt that I need to tell you in order to. And by the way, guys, the other thing I like, chat has kind of a sister. It's called Sora, S-O-R-A. And it's a graphic interface that does images and it creates video. It's a really cool, it's called SORA. So I kind of like that one too, just as a FYI. But stick to ChatGPT. Go through that book I just gave you on the prompts and use every single one of those. Anybody else have questions? Grace, let's come back to your question. So thank you everybody for being here. Grace, tell me the name of the other app that you were looking at. So what did you went to the App Store and you asked for ChatGPT and it brought these things up? Okay.
Yeah, I asked for chat. I wanted the 5. And then it came up with.
Yeah, see, I don't think you can ask for version 5. I think you just have to ask for the ChatGPT app. And it's
Right, I did that. And then I clicked on the chat GPT 5. And then it pulls up the chat bot. And then it pulled up the AI chat 5.0 genius. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I need all of these?
No. No, I have only one, which is the ChatGPT app. That's all I have.
5.0.
Yeah, okay, so if you look over here, hold on, I'll share screen, I'll show you. So let me go back to share screen. If you look over here, right, you see my ChatGPT. If you look right up here, this said, and so the funny thing of it was, Grace, I had version 4, and I went to ChatGPT and I said, ChatGPT, I have version 4. How do I get version 5? And it said, Bill, version 5 is not available for you right now. The next day I had version 5. It was just there when I logged in.
Ask him, how do we get the link to this recording?
That's what I wanted to ask. That was the question.
Okay, well, once it's all done, I'll follow up with you guys with an email and tell you the video's done.
Okay. Bill, want to go. These videos, how do we get the link? Are you going to send it to us so that we can, because we didn't join you on time because we are having
For
difficulty.
today? Yeah. Once the video's done, it has to be converted, and then once it's converted, then we'll upload it, and then I'll send an email out to everybody. You may not
Thank
get the email until late today or early tomorrow. So if
Okay.
you don't get it, you'll have it by tomorrow. So don't worry if you don't get it tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here. Love you guys in Chicago. Love you guys.
We do, Bill.
I see you guys wearing jackets now. It's that time.
It's getting colder.
Yeah, trust me, I know. Hey, the first time I moved there was February in the middle of a blizzard. I'll never forget. And Sammy let me stay in his house. Did Sammy ever tell you guys the story? So I went there, and the place I was staying wasn't ready yet. Sammy was one of the managers. I took over the company, and so Sammy let me stay at his house, but he wasn't doing the job that I wanted him to do. So even though he was letting me stay at his house, I still fired him.
Oh,
I did. I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
tells you what kind of SOB I am. But everybody that works with me know I don't mess around. If you have a job to do, you have to do the job.
'Cause
Now,
we
the
have-
good news is, if you ask Sam, he'll tell you me firing him was a good thing because it made him be accountable to do the job that he was supposed to do, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, and it all worked out because he and I are best friends now. I love Sam. So, but I just want you guys to know that he's a wonderful guy. Let me stay at his house. I still fired him.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Anybody else?
Yeah, you can fire me.
Hey, you're gonna go out there and make $1 million. What are you talking about?
I think if that's the motivation I need, get fired first.
Whatever it takes. There's my old buddy Larry Doss all the way out there in California. Good to see you guys.
thanks,
Sam's
Bill.
Bye.
Guys, thanks,
Thank
everybody,
you,
for-
Bill.
Thank you,
for
Bill.
being here today. I'll follow up, like I said, with the video. If you have any questions, you can always reach me, bill@billfields.com. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here.